Okay, let's get into it. It is early February 2026. The ground's thawing out. You're starting to see those for sale signs pop up, and
Hmm.
you're looking to make a move, buying, selling, whatever. But today, we are zooming in on one very specific, very high stakes area, the Downingtown Area School District in Pennsylvania.
A fascinating market,
It
true.
is. And look, I know what the average person does. You think, okay, I need an agent. So you call your cousin's friend or you just Google top agent near me
Oh.
and, pick the one with the best photo.
That's how it's done.
Yeah.
And honestly, in a normal market, that might work out okay. Fine, even. You might leave a little bit of money on the table, but you'll get through it.
Right.
But right now, in this specific market, this moment in 2026,
Yeah.
that approach is, I'd call it a recipe for disaster.
Wow. Disaster. That's a strong word to start with.
I don't use it lightly.
Yeah.
We're looking at a pile of market data here, and it all points to a market that is shifting. I mean, fundamentally shifting right under our feet. This isn't last year's boom.
So the mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to hand you what we're calling the lie detectors.
I love that. Yes.
We're going to give you the exact data-driven questions to ask an agent to find out if they actually know Downingtown or if they're just, faking it. Because it's not about finding a nice person, is it?
No, absolutely not. And Downingtown is the perfect place to talk about this because it's one of the largest school districts in Chester County. It is huge. You've got everything from a walkable, historic town to these massive new communities, and then suddenly you're in horse country. An agent who treats that all as one big suburb, you're going to lose. And I mean lose actual money.
Okay, let's get to the numbers then. Because the data is screaming that something changed between late last year, 2025, and now. What's the big picture?
The big picture is the hangover. We are officially in the hangover from the big real estate party. So right now, the median price in the Downingtown Area School District, DASD, as locals call it, is $725,000.
That is a serious number. That's $750,000 for the median house.
It is. It's a major asset, and supply is still really tight. Only about 83 active listings. It's about 1.2 months of supply, which, on paper, should mean it's a seller's market.
Right. Anything under 3 months is usually advantage seller.
Usually. But, and this is the fascinating part, the buyer behavior has completely flipped. The entire psychology of the market has changed.
Okay, this is the aha moment I saw in the data. Walk me through the list to sale ratio. This feels like it tells the whole story.
It really does. So the list to sale ratio, it just measures if homes are selling for what they're listed at. Over 100% means bidding wars. Under 100% means negotiations.
Simple enough.
In August of 2025, so just 6 months ago, that ratio in Downingtown was 102%.
So people are paying, what, like an extra $14,000 on a $700,000 house just to win?
Exactly. You'd list a house, get a flood of offers, pick the best one. It was a seller's paradise.
Yeah.
But today, February 2026, that ratio is down to 99.5%.
Now, hold on. I can hear someone listening saying, wait, 102 to 99.5? That sounds like nothing. A rounding error.
It looks tiny on a chart, but in real money, it's a seismic shift. It means the bidding war era is done. It's over. On that median $725,000 house, sellers are now taking offers about $3,600 below asking.
So we went from I'll pay you extra to so what's your best price?
Precisely. The power has shifted. And that leads to this huge trap for sellers, something we call buying the listing.
Buying the listing. It sounds shady.
It's not illegal, but it's deeply unethical. So picture this. You're a seller. You remember your neighbor getting a crazy price last summer. You've got that 2025 mindset.
Right.
An agent who wants your business knows this.
Right.
They know the market's cooled, but they want their sign on your lawn. So they come in and they essentially lie to you.
They tell you what you want to hear.
They validate your fantasy. They promise you that August 2025 price. They promise you a bidding war. They'll say, oh yeah, we could totally list for $800,000 when all the data says the market is at $725,000.
Even though it's just not going to happen.
Exactly. They buy your listing with a bad promise. And then, crickets. The house just sits there. Buyers see it's overpriced, and they don't even bother to look.
And then you end up having to cut the price anyway, only now you look desperate.
And we can see it happening right now. This isn't a theory. Look at the data. 20.5% of the active listings in Downingtown right now have had price reductions.
Wow. 1 in 5, so 1 out of every 5 for sale signs you see is basically admitting, oops, we priced it too high.
That's exactly it. 1 in 5 sellers is publicly admitting they got it wrong. And that is your first test for an agent. If they walk in and ignore that fact, if they promise you the moon, they're just setting you up to be number 6.
Okay, so that's the market. It's correcting. But you said Downingtown isn't just one market, it's a bunch of them. This gets us to our first lie detector test.
Yes, my favorite. It is so simple, but it tells you everything. You just have to ask the agent this one question. How many homes have you personally closed, specifically inside the Downingtown Area School District, in the last 24 months?
Okay. And what's the answer we're looking for?
If that number is less than 5, it's a huge red flag.
Fewer than 5. Okay, let me play devil's advocate. My buddy's a great agent over in Westchester. My aunt sells a ton in Garnet Valley. They're like 10 minutes away. Why isn't that good enough?
It's a totally fair question. And Westchester's a great town. But the DASD has a massive footprint. It covers 8 different municipalities. You've got Downingtown Borough, East Brandywine, East Colne, Upper Uwchlan, Wallace, West Bradford, and West Pikeland.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
A ton. And the rules, the housing, the lifestyle in those 8 places are wildly different. An agent from Westchester, they just don't know the nuances. The expertise isn't transferable.
Okay, so let's take it to her. Prove it. If I'm looking in Downingtown Borough itself, what's the vibe?
Okay, the borough is your walkable historic center. You can walk to get coffee, walk to the park. The homes are older, maybe 100 years old, Victorians, twins. They've got tons of character.
But also old house problems.
Exactly. Knob and tube wiring, slate roofs. You need to know that stuff. Now, compare that to, say, Upper Uwchlan or Uwchlan Township.
Totally different.
Completely different universe.
Yeah.
That's the growth engine. That's where you have giant planned communities like Eagleview, Toll Brothers building everywhere, HOAs. You're close to Route 100, all the shopping in Exton.
Right, modern suburbia, community pools, that whole thing.
And then you drive 10 minutes away into Wallace or West Pikeland, and you're in horse country. Big lots, open space, agricultural feel.
And it's not just about looks, right? This impacts the actual guts of the house.
Absolutely. This is where that agent from another town gets into deep trouble. Out in Wallace or East Brandywine, you're almost certainly on a private well and a septic system. In Uwchlan, you're on public water and sewer.
And if an agent doesn't know that?
If they don't know which neighborhoods are which, they're putting you at huge risk. A septic inspection is a major, major deal. If that system fails, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars to replace it, like 30, 40 grand.
Right.
An agent who's just guessing, who assumes it's all public utilities because that's what they're used to, is exposing you to massive financial liability.
So a good question is, hey, which neighborhoods around here are on septic?
Yes. And if they have to look it up on their phone, or if they give you some vague answer like, oh, mostly the older ones, they don't know the market. A real local expert knows. They know this development is public, but the one right across the street is septic.
What about the commute? I assume a lot of people in Downingtown are commuting. Philly, king of Prussia.
Almost everyone. And this is another huge piece of local knowledge. Downingtown has that Turnpike exchange, which is gold. It gets you east to Philly or west to Lancaster. If you live in Uwchlan, you're on the highway in 5 minutes. It's a dream. But if you buy that gorgeous house on 2 acres in Wallace, your commute is totally different. You're on winding back roads for 15 or 20 minutes just to get to the Turnpike. An agent have to be able to explain that lifestyle difference. They have to tell a buyer, this house is stunning, but are you okay with a 25-minute drive just to get to the grocery store?
That's a great point. It's not just about the house. It's about the life that comes with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And an outsider just sees a few miles on a map. They don't know those miles are behind a school bus on a 2-lane road.
Okay, let's switch gears to something you brought up earlier. New construction. The data says this is what really separates Downingtown from the rest of the county right now.
It really is. Most of Chester County is pretty much built out. You can't just drop a 200-home development in Westchester. There's no land. But Downingtown still has open space. So you've got these huge builders like Toll Brothers putting up whole neighborhoods.
So if I'm selling my 20-year-old colonial, why is that my problem?
Because you are in direct competition with them. You're listing your house, built in 2005, for $750,000. It's a nice house, but a buyer can go right down the street and for $800,000 get a brand new home.
With a warranty?
With a warranty, modern kitchen, energy-efficient windows, and they get to pick their own paint colors. That is brutal competition. Your agent needs a strategy to fight that. They have to highlight your bigger lot, your mature trees, something to compete with that shiny new penny.
And there was a weird statistical thing in the sources about new construction, right? It messes with the data.
Oh, this is so important. So if you just look at the raw data, the average days on market in Downingtown is 156 days.
That's really long. That's 5 months.
It sounds terrifying. As a seller, you'd think your house is going to sit forever. But that number is totally distorted
How?
because of spec homes. A builder will list a house for sale on the MLS before it's even finished, sometimes before they've even broken ground.
Oh, I see. So the clock is ticking on the listing while they're still building it.
For 6, 9, even 12 months. So these new construction homes have hundreds of days on market, and it drags the average for the whole area way up. The resale market for existing homes might be moving in 30 or 40 days.
So an agent could use that bad data to make excuses. They could say, oh, don't worry that we haven't had a showing in 3 months. The average is 156 days.
Bingo. That's the lie detector test right there. You have to ask them, how is new construction impacting the days on market stats in my neighborhood? If they just give you the 156 number without that context, they're either lazy or they're hiding something.
That's so good. Okay, let's talk advanced vetting because a real estate move is almost always tied to a big life event.
Right. We call them the D words. Diamonds as in marriage, diapers, divorce, death.
So let's take divorce. With a $725,000 median home price, the house is often the biggest, most contentious asset.
It is. And it's incredibly messy.
Mm.
You need an agent who gets the legal side of it, not just someone who can take nice pictures. You should look for a specific designation called RCS-D, Real Estate Collaborative Specialist, Divorce. It means they have specific training on how to handle the sale in a way that protects both parties' credit and equity. They know how to work with lawyers. It's a specialized skill.
What about for seniors? Someone who's been in their house for 40 years.
Totally different set of needs. You're talking about capital gains taxes, estate planning, the challenge of downsizing. For that, you want an SRES, a seniors real estate specialist.
And for those big multi-million-dollar estates.
CLHMS,
Yeah.
Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist. You don't market a $2 million property the same way you market a townhouse. You need someone who knows how to reach that specific buyer pool.
The theme here seems to be don't hire a generalist.
Not in this market, not at this price point. A generalist is a liability. You wouldn't go to your family doctor for heart surgery.
And we have to talk about the schools. The district's reputation is everything in Downingtown.
It's the foundation of property values there. The number one reason people are moving to the 19335 and 19341 zip codes is for the schools, the STEM Academy, the high ratings. It's a huge driver.
So an agent better be able to sell the schools.
100%. If they can't speak intelligently about the specific programs, the feeder patterns from the elementary schools, they're missing the buyer's main motivation. It's not just the schools are good, it's here's why this district protects your investment.
Okay, I love this next tip from the sources. Using AI to fact-check your agent.
This is such a great power move for a consumer. It's fantastic.
So how does it work?
Simple. The agent sits in your kitchen and tells you all their claims. Oh, prices are still going up 10%, or bidding wars are everywhere. You just take notes.
Okay.
And you go to your computer, open up ChatGPT or Claude, and you just type in a prompt. I'm hiring a real estate agent in Downingtown, PA. They claimed X, Y, and Z. Can you verify these claims against market data for early 2026?
That is brilliant. It's like a real-time fact checker.
It is. The AI can pull the real data and say, actually, the this-to-sale ratio is 99.5%, so the claim about bidding wars is out of date. It's like having your own data analyst.
It keeps them honest.
It does. And a good agent won't be afraid of that. A good agent will have already shown you that data. They'll be the one telling you about the 99.5%. The AI just catches the ones who are still living in 2025.
So let's bring it all home. Downingtown is a growth engine, tons of new construction, distinct from the rest of the county.
But the market itself is correcting. The easy days are gone. The hangover is real.
We've got that $725,000 median price, but a list-to-sale ratio that's dipped. Sellers are having to negotiate again.
And it's not one market. It's a collection of micro markets, from the borough to the farmlands, each with its own risks and rewards.
So if you're listening, don't just hire someone because they're a friend of a friend. You have to ask the hard questions. Ask about their transaction volume right there in the district.
Ask about the 99.5%. Ask them to explain the difference between a house in Euclid and one in Wallace. Make them prove they know this map.
And ask them how new construction is going to impact your specific home's value.
The stakes are just too high. It's a massive financial decision. You need a pro, not just a nice person with a key.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. We said that 1 in 5 listings, 20.5%, has had a price cut.
It's a big number.
It is. So here's the question to think about. Is that the sign of an impending market crash, or is it just a return to sanity?
And that's really the question, isn't it? My read is that it shows sellers are still a bit too optimistic, but the buyers have finally hit their limit. The market is finding its balance. It's not a crash, it's a correction, a sobering up.
The hangover.
Exactly. And the question you have to ask yourself, and more importantly, ask your agent is, are we to be brave enough to price this thing correctly from day one? Or are we going to be part of that 20% chasing the market down because we were stuck in the past?
That's the $725,000 question right there.
It sure is.
Thanks for this deep dive. Go out there and use those lie detectors. We'll see you next time.